Good evening, y'all. You're taking a look at our Viper Doppler radar right now, as we do have a severe thunderstorm. This is moving to our east-northeast. As you can see, it is starting to bow. And what that means is, since it's starting to bow, the winds are starting to be kicked out of the storm into the middle, which happened here in Charleston, Lavaca, and Greenwood. So we're starting to see the strongest winds to the north of Charleston right now. Charleston definitely got some strong winds, probably around 60 miles an hour. But the strongest winds are just north of Charleston at around, around 65 miles per hour. Now, embedded in this is probably about nickel-size hail. So very strong winds, very heavy rain. That driving rain could cause some flash flooding, especially for these areas that got 2 rounds this morning of severe thunderstorms. So some people are already seeing the 3rd round of the day, which is crazy. This is spring-like weather going on right now. Now it's moving through Branch with about 60 miles per hour winds. Next, it's going to head to Cecil, Highway 96. Webb City, Ozark, Windecker Village, Altus, Denning. Now let me show y'all the our wind map. So you're probably thinking, what's going on with this? The green means it's coming towards the radar. The yellow means it's going away from the radar. The brighter the red at the center, at the beginning of the storm, the stronger the wind gusts. So it looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warnings for northern Logan County and parts of Johnson County. So areas in this is going to be Chisholmville, Boonville. You're just getting some strong winds right now. Driggs, Coxville. I'm watching y'all. Y'all have some very strong winds, around 60 to 65 miles per hour coming. Paris, Subiaco, Scranton, Clarksville, Knoxville, and Coal Hill. And the strongest of these, let's see if we can put a storm track on this, looks to be headed towards Coe Hill and will be in Coe Hill in the next, just a second. Be in Coe Hill in probably the next 15 to 20 minutes. So if we can, let's look at our wind right now, and it's probably around 60 to 65 miles per hour. Let's see. So if you're in this, looks like we're gonna have another thunderstorm starting to develop in front of this one, so that's gonna push and bring some more heavy rain. Now we're here at the station in Greenwood, and we got some very strong winds, driving wind and rain, and all that new is crazy. So if we can, let's see. It's around 55 miles per hour winds. Looks like a new update. This is now moving into Coxville. Coxville, you're getting around 60 miles per hour winds. We get around 60 to 65 miles per hour winds moving into the Cecil area right now. Chisholmville, you're in this heavy rain. Boonville, you're in the heavy rain. Driggs, you're about to get into this with about 45 to 50 miles per hour winds. Paris, you're going to be in this in about the next 10 minutes or so. Let's see. Subiaco, probably the next 17 to 20 minutes. Morrison Bluff. Let's see. It's Morrison Bluff in about the next 29 minutes to 30 minutes. Clarksville in probably the next 35 to 40 minutes, and Lamar in about the next 40 minutes. So do stay alert on the storm. And it's bowing out, so it's going to be producing a very strong winds. And if we can look at this. So you can see it started to bow, and I was talking about this earlier, to some people who had some questions, and they're like, "What's going on?" And I told them, I looked at the radar loop and I said, it's possibly going to bow out, and there's going to be some strong winds. So I was estimating between Paris and Clarksville there'll be a warning for strong winds, but it looks like it started to produce some strong winds earlier, but it's still good that we got an accurate prediction of what's going on, because we were on it as soon as the warning was issued. So, and it looks like it's getting stronger. So as it's bowing, so it's bowing out and it's producing some very, very strong winds, damaging winds too. If you have any storm damage reports, send those to your local law enforcement. They will send it to the National Weather Service and then put it out there, depending on which one you're at, where you're at. Let's see, so we got 55, so Clarksville, you're definitely getting some strong winds inside that thunderstorm right now, driving wind and rain. So most of this, it's not going to be like a dry wind at first. It's not going to be like one of those lines where you get the outflow boundary first and then you get the rain. It's going to be the rain mixed in with the strong winds. So, and that could lead to flash floodings, and that's what we're concerned about right now. Let's see. So we got around 60 miles per hour winds in Clarksville right now. Chisholmville, you're in this heavy rain with about 40 to 45 now. It's coming into Webb City in just a few moments, probably about 10 minutes. Whitaker Village in about the next 15 minutes, and Ozark in about the next 10 minutes. If you're in Altus or Denning, this will be there in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. With about, let's see, around 60 miles per hour. Now our thing is showing at 55 knots, so I've been trying to translate to knots to miles per hour, so I have a kind of a good idea of what it is. So looks like got some hail out there. Let's see, probably some about there's radar estimated about nickel size hail, nickel to penny size hail. Let's see. So the strongest winds right now are going to be in this area of the storm. Here are some strong winds on the south side of Clarksville, and let's see, near Boonville. Boonville definitely got some winds, probably around near 45, 50 miles per hour. And the strongest winds look to be near, north of Clarksville. So this is now, so Cecil's about to get this with about 60, 65 miles per hour winds. And this is moving towards Ozark, Cohill, Paris, Subiaco, Scranton, Clarksville, and Knoxville, and London. So do be alert on this storm right here. Let's see if we can put a time out. So it'll be Paris about the next 10 minutes, Subiaco the next 15 minutes, Scranton about the next 20 to 25 minutes, and Knoxville probably the next 30 to 35 minutes. Let's see, the strongest winds right over here. Cohill, you're gonna get this about the next 15 minutes. Ozark, you're gonna be in it about the next 10 minutes. Let's see, Clarksville. Let's see, Clarksville about the next 30 to 35 minutes. And these are some very strong winds in front of embedded in this very heavy rain. And it looks like a new update. Good Lord, probably about 65 miles per hour winds on the east side of Clarksville. If we go north, we can see we got about the same thing. We got about 65 miles per hour winds. So do be alert on these storms if you are in this general vicinity, especially with it being embedded in the very heavy rain, because that could cause flash flooding, especially for these areas that got already 3 rounds of severe thunderstorms today so far. This morning we ended around, here at the station, we ended around 2.65 inches of rain. I'll have to go check in just a minute to see which one, how much rain we've gotten. Got a question from Eden. What about Greenwood? Greenwood, let's check in Greenwood. Greenwood got light rain so far. The storms are coming to an end in Greenwood, just some light rain. So still got some moderate rain to the north side of Lavaca. Charleston, it's about to end in probably the next 15 minutes or so. That looks to be it. Hackett, you're out of this. Some light rain out to our west, and that looks to be all right now. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So Magazine's about to get this with about 50 miles per hour winds. Coxville, already got this. Let's see. Mount Magazine, if there's any campers up on Mount Magazine, because I know for sure, do be alert, because we got to notice you're not in the warning, but you're definitely getting some strong winds, probably near 50 miles per hour in the next several moments. And we do have some strong winds, probably around near 65, 70 miles per hour. This is nearing Altus and Denning. Cecil, you're in this right now. You're going to be in the heavy rain. You're going to be in the very strong winds. So stay alert, and stay alert for everyone in this warning box. Stay alert for flash flooding, because we can't stress this enough. I mean, flash flooding is going to be a main concern with this driving wind and rain. So we're going to take a break right here at the station. We're going to leave the radar up for y'all, and we're going to take a break. We're going to go see if we can get some rain totals and some wind records. So from the LHS Weather Team, I'm Austin Daigle. Have a good day. For Instagram, we're going to stay on here for the channel. But we're going to take a quick break. I'm Austin Daigle. I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, thank you for joining us back. Looks like we got a wind report. This is out of Clarksville. Looks like an emergency manager reported 60 miles per hour winds. And that is definitely what we were seeing here on radar, is about 65 miles per hour winds. Subiaco, Paris, about to get this with about, same 60 mile an hour winds. Altus and Ozark, you're in for this. This is probably about 60 to 65 miles per hour winds. Oh my gosh. If you look over here, we got some pixels around near the, around 70 miles per hour winds, about to move into Webb City, Whitaker Village and Altus, around 70 mile an hour for Denning, and around 60 to 65 for Ozark. So again, stay alert on this thunderstorm, on the strong Boeing thunderstorm, because the strongest winds are now coming on the north side of this storm, and that's going to be affecting, let's see, I think it's going to be let's put it into a motion real quick. It's going to be affecting, it looks like it's getting a little bit stronger too, so it's going to be affecting the Ozark, Altus, and Harmony area, near that area. I checked some of the rain totals, and we got 2.15 inches here at the station so far. From that just last storm, but today our rain totals here at the station was 4.8 inches, which is insane. All right, let's go back onto Instagram. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Good evening, y'all. If you're just joining us, we got a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for southern Franklin County, northern Logan County, and southwestern Johnson. This is for 60 miles per hour winds, and we've gotten record of 60 miles per hour winds. But there's some areas, since this is a bowing thunderstorm and it's becoming more of a bow, the stronger winds are on the north side of the storm, which is heading towards Webb City, Ozark, Whitaker Village, Altus, Denning, Alex. And this has about 60 to 70 miles per hour winds on it. And since it's not like a line, since like an outflow boundary, you get the winds and then you get the rain. It's the rain mixed into with the strong winds, so that could cause some. So that has a higher possibility of causing more damage, which is not good. Looks like got some more updates, and looks like there's some areas showing around 70 miles per hour winds coming into the Webb City area and Ozark. Whitaker Village is going to get around 60. Denning probably about 65. Paris, you're in this right now. Paris not as strong as up north because it's looks like more of the bow is now. No, this is a classic bow, as you can see right here. It looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Franklin County. This is for 70 miles per hour winds, and that's what we were just seeing just a moment ago. As we were seeing some areas around 70 miles an hour moving in, and that's actually moving into Webb City and Ozark, Whitaker Village. So if you're in Ozark right now, I-40. If you're on I-40 right now and you're a passenger or you're watching, make sure y'all pull over, or if a passenger that pulls over. If you know anyone that's between, mile markers on interstate between mile markers 29 and 42, make sure they pull over because this is a bad timing because we got crosswinds. Now what that is you're going to have 70 miles an hour crosswinds. So if you're going to have a tractor trailer going one way, but you're going to have that strong winds on the side of that thing, that could likely turn over a high profile vehicle. That is a situation now we're going to take care of right now. We want to alert you about. Be careful with the crosswind for high-profile vehicles on the interstate now. And we're going to watch this as this comes across through Ozark right now with about 60 to 65 miles per hour winds. This is now through Webb City with about 70 mile an hour winds. Now, I cannot imagine what's going on right there. We had this a while ago at the station, and it was crazy. We got reports around 60 miles an hour winds, and this is near Clarksville. Now, Coal Hill is about to get on in this with about 55 miles per hour winds. Altus, Denning, Altus, you're in this probably around 55 miles per hour winds. The strongest winds are near Webb City, around 70 miles per hour. In Ozark, you're in this right now, so do stay alert on this storm right here. I'm not seeing any hail, and it looks like there's some very, very small hail, probably pea size on the south side of Webb City on Highway 23. As this is moving north. Now, this is a classic bow. I haven't seen anything like this. I haven't seen anything like this since this morning. Okay, so let's see. Let's move to south. Subiaco, you're about to get this. Not as strong as what's going on in Ozark and Webb City right now, but there is probably around 50 miles per hour winds about to move through. There's a core around 60. Hartman, you're about to get on, and probably about 55 miles per hour winds. Ozark, you're in this already with about around 65 miles per hour winds. Let's see. So if you're in this area right here, if you're going I-40, I-40 is about to get hammered hard. I can imagine being on the interstate with 70-mile-an-hour winds, crosswinds blowing at a high profile. That would be scary. That would be very scary. Looks like that's some hail down here. That's probably about, that's getting close to quarter size near the Arkansas River. Yeah, that's on the Arkansas River. That's nearing quarter size, just a little smaller for indicated. The classic winds on this, let's see, let's put it back to wind, is moving toward, oh gosh, we'll put it on too much. Let's see, the classic wind. This is moving towards Ozark right now. Let's see. Whitaker Village is about to get this out in probably just a few seconds. The wind part, and yep, it's already done, barely done. Okay, so the strongest winds are now. Let's see, that's around 67 to 70 mile per hour winds. Now the strongest winds, it looks like it's starting to subside just a little bit. Now in Whip City, it's subsiding a lot. It's done in Coxville, Charleston, Branch. It's all probably some strong winds out there. Anyways, we've got some winds out here near the Greenwood area and Lavaca and Washburn, Boonville. Looks like it took a turn from Mount Magazine. There's still going to be some winds out there from that thunderstorm, probably around 40 miles per hour. But the strongest wind looked to be starting to die down a little bit here near Ozark and Altus, but it's still strong, probably near 65 miles per hour. Let's see. So as this is entering Coal Hill, this is on Highway 64. This is probably be about 60 miles per hour winds. Let's see. This is in Whitaker Village. Do stay alert, especially on the interstate right now, with radar indicating around 65 to 70 miles per hour winds, and that's crossing. So you get crosswinds and you get a high-profile vehicle, and that equals disaster, especially on the interstate in this kind of weather. And the wind, it's not like an outflow boundary of just like a cold front, like a classic severe weather line. You get that outflow boundary, and then you get the dry wind, and then you get the rain. This one has the wind mixed in the rain, so it's causing all kinds of disasterness. And I just dropped my phone, which is fun. Okay, so this is now snow calming down just a little bit for Ozark, not really. The north side of Ozark, you're still getting around 60 miles per hour, 60 to 70 miles an hour winds. This is crossing I-40 right now. And the summary of what, and this is moving out, and as this is moving out our area, here's the summary. We had a thunderstorm complex develop out here in Oklahoma. It moved southeast, and then it tracked, and then more storms fired up near Haskell County and Latimer County. Those turned into those developed into the line along with the main line. This main line became severe and then has weakened out, and then fed this, and then as it was moving through the Fort Smith and Pensacola area, it started to bow a little bit. So that started to bring some winds at around 40 to 50 miles an hour. Once it got past the Greenwood area near Charleston, it bowed, and that started causing winds up to near 60 to 70 miles per hour. We got a report here in Coxville from emergency manager of 60 miles an hour winds. This is now moving towards the northeast into Franklin and Johnson County with around 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. This should go on for a little bit. It is moving out of our area. There is heavy rain, so beware for flash flooding possible. And that looks to be it. I'm Austin Nagel from the LHS Weather Team. Have a good night, everyone.